heart attack. Fast, fatal, heart impact. Past painful scars, in fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new submerged juice. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, quite a lot of things were happening. We had the Molecule Man, who, he went to go try and find the Hulk. The world Emperor Doom is in control of, it's insane. I mean, it's not what you'd expect a man who rules his own country as a dictatorship would create. There is total world peace and a ceasefire. And the Earth's heroes? Yeah. They more or less don't exist. Many of them are buried or normal humans. And right now, after the Molecule Man went to Deku, he found out that Deku remembered. And Deku, him and the Devil Hulk persona, they worked together to take on Dr. Doom, or Emperor Doom. Now, the one below all encountered Emperor Doom, and he told Doom quite simply, he will pay the consequences of messing with cosmic power such as this. No human should have their hands on them. Now, Dr. Doom, he faced his greatest fears. After he lost complete focus, the Beyonder's powers left his body. Now, the Avengers did arrive, and right now reality has been restored to the way it was before Doom took control. However, there are many issues. People remember what the Hulk did, and how he went against the Earth's heroes to get his wish granted. He had a selfish desire. However, there's also another thing to at least acknowledge about this. He wasn't the only one who was going to help Emperor Doom. Magneto, a fellow mutant, was involved with this. And right now, whenever Deku returned to the mansion, he encountered the four people he knows things are going to become very, very awkward with. Especially because one is his resurrected girlfriend, one's his childhood friend, and the other two, yeah. Well, he does know Rogue, he just met Laura. And Laura, yeah. She's not too sure how to feel about this guy. Especially because in that other reality, he was a very serious boyfriend of hers. Now, with that being said, the Illuminati, they are currently all sitting down. We have Charles Xavier of the Mutants, Tony Stark of the Avengers, Doctor Strange of the Avengers, Namor the Submariner, T'Challa of Wakanda, and we also have Black Bolt of the Inhumans. All 6 of these people, they've gathered in the land of the dead to discuss exactly the Hulk's actions here, and Izuku's actions. Now, while this is both very serious, it is also very strange right now. Doctor Strange himself has pointed out many things he's seen, and right now, it's a bit more concerning. A lot of people, they've voiced their opinions, and there actually is the inevitable conclusion. How should they deal with Izuku and the Hulk? Do they punish his actions? Do they take any action at all? Or do they leave this alone? Many mutants around the entire world have control of their abilities now. Charles Xavier has looked. Many mutants, they aren't afraid of themselves anymore. He looked. He's read some of their minds. Some of the most volatile mutations he's ever seen are now fully under their control. And then there's also another fact. Deku, he didn't just ask to be separated from the Hulk. He asked for peace. Izuku, his actions, they're hard to justify. But the more you look into it and peel back multiple layers, the world was at peace. Nobody was hungry. Nobody was at war. And ultimately, it is a world where heroes wouldn't even need to exist. They would have been obsolete. Now, Charles by no right is defending Deku, but there actually is T'Challa and Namor. These two, they can understand Deku's actions. And right now, while they don't condone it, they can't really say that they would have done anything different in his situation. The two have brought it up. They are both rulers of kingdoms. T'Challa, if even one hair is put out of place on somebody's head in, well, Wakanda, whoever harmed them, he will hunt down to the ends of the earth. So, that is his view on things. Deku made a world where humans and mutants can coexist, peacefully. And Namor, he also has back up this claim. He also has claim about how his people, they were not really even affected by this. In fact, they were left alone. And that is really all he did care about. His opinions on the matter, he will voice. Now, this is where you do actually have Black Bolt. And right now, the votes are 3-2. And you do actually at least have his voice. He voices his opinion. Right now, Deku is doing what is best for his people. Deku, he did what was best for himself as well. He understands what it is like to lose, what it is like to fight to survive. The Hulk and Deku, these two are like, as they would put it, oil and fire. They cannot coexist. Izuku, however, he manifested another personality and saved the day. And this situation is complex. Exactly how can they put it? It's quite simple. How many of them would honestly believe somebody who has had such a volatile life as him could resist a desire for his wish? Now, obviously Iron Man and Charles, yeah, or Iron Man and Doctor Strange, actually. They're still somewhat against this. Doctor Strange, he doesn't like that Deku messes with cosmic forces, but he also is confused. The way this entity in his head handled, well, a God Emperor Doom, as he was called, it shouldn't have been possible. And from what they have at least gotten from looking into Victor's mind, it isn't good. Iron Man, he's tried to make countermeasures. He's tried to put contingency plans in place. But he's made the calculations from what happened on Battleworld. The Hulk? He is the most dangerous mutant alive. When it comes to raw physical power, he is quite literally unmatched in many regards. If the Hulk gets angry too fast, then they're done for. They need to have a contingency plan in place to deal with him. And right now, he needs the Illuminati to help him come together with this. Now, right now, the votes were 2-4. And Charles, yeah. Right now, while he doesn't vote, against Deku, he doesn't want to vote for Deku. So he does try to remain neutral on this. However, the votes are still 2-3. Now, they do admit he needs guidance, so guide him down the right path before he wanders down the one they are trying to avoid. Now, T'Challa, he does at least go to acknowledge this. Izuku, he is somebody who does not have the correct mindset to be who he is. Clearly his trauma is holding him back, and it is the reason why these personalities, as he does understand, continually manifest in his mind. There's always something that does happen, that will make him angry. That is also something that he does see. In many instances he has seen, the Hulk does want to be left alone. But people try to contain him and try to stop him from existing. And in fact, it is both a paradox and an endless cycle. People, if they truly left the Hulk alone, they wouldn't be in danger, because they wouldn't be trying to capture him, which leads to him defending himself, which circles back around to the Hulk putting people in danger, and subsequently wreaking havoc on people. Now, everybody they would listen to T'Challa. And right now, both Iron Man and Xavier, they do have an idea. They have an idea that's quite similar. However, Iron Man, with the fact that he just got out of his own grave, his idea sounds a bit more extreme. He wants to put the Hulk in Prison 42, in the negative zone. If they do that, they can at least try to find a way to cure Deku of his gamma radiation. If they can find a way to cure the Hulk, as Deku has talked about before, then nobody will be in danger anymore. I mean, it sounds possible, right? Now, there actually is Doctor Strange, who he does express. He does believe that it is possible. However, there also is another issue. If they try to use magic to separate the two, how do they know they won't just make two Hulks? Now, many people fall silent at that. And right now, it is actually a theoretical issue they need to solve. And the Illuminati, they do somewhat agree. They will not punish the Hulk or Izuku for his actions. However, without condoning them or wanting him to do more things like that are super risky, he does need proper guidance. So, where will he go? Charles, he is obviously a bit more on the fence. Right now, keeping Izuku where he can see him would be the best option. However, clearly Izuku and him are going to butt heads whenever they do meet again. Whenever he does return, he has many questions he needs to get Deku to answer. Many things he wants to see from that world. And right now, he actually does try to think. Is it really safe for Izuku to be around the mutants? They are under constant threat of murder. They are always being threatened. Their very existence people despise. And Izuku is fueled by rage. He is not very good with it. Controlling his temper, though, he is getting better at that. Charles will admit. But that is another issue. Deku needs to learn how to fully control his rage, fully control the Hulk. And, well, trying to recombine them, it might be possible again. I mean, Jean Grey is alive. She can help him. If he can get Jean to agree to this, agree to try and save Izuku by combining those two again, maybe they can be on a good playing field. Now, there actually is Charles who is going to bring this up. And right now, he actually is going to someone to ask if they can move this discussion over to the possibility of the Phoenix Force returning. Now, everybody, they do go to fall silent. They remember that threat. The Phoenix Force was unlike anything they've ever seen. It was some sort of cosmic power. And, well, it nearly killed the Hulk. And from what they have seen, the Hulk, he is the biggest threat they are facing. And there is something to rival that threat. So, they need to start making preparations for both of these two possibilities. Now, we do actually cut back over to Deku, where he currently is sitting down. And he's trying to think about everything. His memories, they're fake. The entire life he thought he lived, it was fake. Deku, he really lost his mother. He really has a psycho dad. And the woman he loved crumpled to ash in his hands after she tried to keep him calm. And right now, the world he lived in, a happy life, a happy childhood, friends, loved ones, people he could care for. His name not being tarnished by being the Hulk. Him working a job, about to start a family. Him just in bliss, happiness. I mean, he's having a hard time just coming to terms with that. Now, Deku just sit there quietly. And right now, somebody does come to walk up. Them going to sit down and asking Izuku if he can talk. Hey, Katsuki. It's been a minute. Yeah. Yeah. Technically, it's been a few hours. I know. I don't blame you, you know. That's a first. Well, I mean, some people don't blame me. Some do. I see the look on their faces, you know. I can tell. I've gotten pretty good at reading people. Especially whenever they don't want to say it to your face that you're a fucking monster. Izuku. I never thought that you were a monster. Sure. I only manipulated reality, made a deal with some cosmic jackass, and brought back the only person who I've ever loved. Katsuki's still going to frown. Really? Sorry, I'm trying to stay calm. It's just hearing my mother's voice. I thought, seeing it all again, I thought, seeing my mother die in front of me again, Katsuki. I didn't remember a lot of it. But my mom, she was strong. Even while he was trying to murder her, she was begging for her life. It was only whenever the knife got sunk into her shoulder did she realize that she couldn't fight. She could have tore him limb from limb, but she still loved him. She stared at me. I forgot that part. She fucking looked at me. Her face, Katsuki. Her face. So much fear. The terror. The fear wasn't for herself. She knew he was going to kill me. I remember every beating. Every time he just came home and Deku's just going to bring his hand back and make a motion as if he's going to Doki smack an object in front of him. Now, Katsuki does Doki grab onto Deku's arm. Izuku, I know. Do you? Your mom loves you. Your father loves her. And you. Katsuki, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to get dragged into all this. I mean, I know you probably hate me. You probably don't know what to say to me, but Izuku, I do know what to say to you. Deku turning. And right now, she actually lets Deku grab onto him before pulling him in. And Deku, he's somewhat alarmed. As he actually does somewhat push back, and Deku to bring his hand up. Jesus. Okay. First Laura, then you. What the hell? Izuku. Listen, I know... I've always had a crush on you, Izuku, okay? You have? Why? Izuku, you were always there for me. My friend. Do you remember whenever you first manifested the Hulk? I protected you. Yeah, you did. And you still protect me. I go on missions now. I have my own powers. And yet, you seem to stop realizing a few things. Izuku, I've always cared for you in a way, but I've never known how to express it. It wasn't those memories that were implanted in my head. It wasn't some other form of reality. That that version of me, those emotions were my emotions. They were real. I mean, I don't know what Doom did. Why he put me there? Maybe he knew. Maybe he knew what you needed wasn't just Jean. You're you're a lot for one person to handle, Izuku. You have baggage. Jean has baggage. I have baggage. So does Laura and so does Rogue. In a way, I think Jean and I were similar enough. But you, what Doom did, I think he knew. I don't know what he knew, honestly, but maybe he was just trying to make pieces fit together. Make sure that you and powerful mutants are always close. Someone on call, I guess? But I don't know. My powers are strong, but they're nowhere near your level. Deku looking. Katsuki, she's just staring down at her hands. Do you think I wanted to be this way? Hmm? Katsuki, every day I live in fear of what I can do. Every time I lose control, I don't know. I black out. There are times whenever I can see what the Hulk sees, but that's whenever I'm not angry enough. But whatever the Hulk sees, I usually just get flashes of it, glimpses. It's not me. I know. Hulk, he's a terror. I mean, hell. I've heard of terrible twos, but he's fucking ridiculous. Why do you talk about him like that? Why? Katsuki, I can't fully be human. What are you talking about? Rage. During the last year of my life, I felt better than I ever have, just because I could get angry. I could lose control just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. I could smash into a punching bag, throw my fist out as hard as I wanted to, get angry and let my adrenaline just skyrocket. And it felt good. But whenever I get angry here, I get afraid. There is a sense of fear I've never felt before in my life that I always feel every time I get angry. I'm terrified of just simply feeling any emotion at all. Do you want to know what that feels like? That sounds horrible. It is. And you know what the worst part? The worst part of all of it? I have to try and hold back every single time I am mad. And it drains me. I mean, I just emotionally I'm just emotionally I don't know. Best way to say it is shut down, I guess. But I can't be shut down if I still get angry. I'm just so tired of these powers. Now, Katsuki is going to stand, asking Deku if he does want to have a minute to himself. Yeah, yeah. And Katsuki. Yeah? the last year that we spent together. It was nice. It makes me better to know that your emotions weren't fake. Well, not all of it was fake. You you try to get better, okay? Sure. Jean is still alive. Deku freezing at that. Consider that a gift. Jean still draws breath. Yeah, maybe. Now, she was gonna walk away. And right now she just gonna freeze for a second before we're gonna move forwards. Maybe. Now, it currently is on Deku's mind. The Phoenix Force. Wherever the fuck that bird is, will it come back now for Jean? That is another one of his worries. That thing, that fucking bird, he wants to destroy it. He wants to smash it. Now, Deku just gonna grit his teeth. And right now, we do actually have our Deku, he does try to keep calm. However, we do actually have over with a few people. Right now, S.H.I.E.L.D., they've been trying to get things back on track. Especially because many of their agents, they have paired memories in their heads of never even encountering their organization. And some, they're confused by what the others are talking about. However, many have made claims of, well, dual identity. Now, there actually is Commander Fury, who, he also does have these claims inside of his head. And right now, he does look at everything, along with the evidence. God, Emperor, Doom. What the fuck is that? Now, Fury, he has phone calls to make. And right now we do actually have the next day. Right now, there actually is at the mansion. And Deku, he does speak to many people. The Avengers and the X-Men. Now, whereas this was supposed to be a conversation, it does somewhat go a bit more like an interrogation. Especially because Charles, yeah, he trusted Izuku. And Izuku, he violated that trust. However, there actually is something that does happen here. Something that Charles, he didn't expect. Many of the mutants, they actually step in and defend Izuku's actions. And this does somewhat surprise both Charles and many of the Avengers. Many of the mutants talk about the control they've gained over their abilities, and how they lived peaceful lives with their families. Now, Charles, he is somewhat very surprised by this. And there actually is where some people, they actually do even show they still do have the, well, control of their powers. And they even do express it to Charles. Mutants lived peacefully in Genosha. Mutants, they fit in. They weren't considered freaks by normal standards. And right now, Charles, he wants to try and demonize Izuku. But Izuku, he wasn't the one at fault here. Charles wants to try and make a world where they all fit in. Izuku, he achieved that dream. And then, whenever he thought he did the wrong thing, he fixed it. Now, Charles, yeah. Right out to the mutants, Izuku, he didn't do anything wrong. In fact, he gave many of them what they've dreamed of. They can go back home. They have control of their powers. They don't have to worry about harming people. They had friends. They had family. They had loved ones. Some even had children. And right now, that is what does hurt them. Right now, Charles, he is dealing with the emotional outburst of many mutants. And the Avengers, they actually started to hear of many of these things. One, they talked about how they lost their child. I mean, they had their child and they were about 4 years old. However, now they don't exist here. They aren't alive in this timeline, all because they altered reality. Now, the mental distress this person is display, it does show quite a lot about what happened there. And right now with Steve Rogers, yeah, that isn't easy to stare at. However, he does try to keep his composure. Now, the Avengers they do express, they aren't blaming Izuku for his actions. He isn't going to be locked up. However, he does need to repent in some way. Now, people they are somewhat confused. And that actually is where T'Challa, he does get to step in. And he does express. He does understand that Izuku, he himself is afraid of the Hulk. And right now, he does wish for Izuku to come to Wakanda and help them understand more. Wakanda? Wait, hang on. Like, the actual city of Wakanda? Where you have vibranium, you have advanced science, you have advanced mathematics and knowledge? Yes. Uh, when can I pack a bag? I see. Well then, that was a simple agreement. Okay, let's make one thing clear about this. Tony's stepping in front of Izuku. This isn't some day trip, kid. Listen, I try to approach things as your friend, Izuku. I know that you've helped me in many fields understand the Hulk. But here and now, you aren't taking some trip to Wakanda and being there as a guest. You will have rules, and you will be treated as a prisoner. Do you understand? Oh, um, right. Now, there actually is Logan, who does directly step in and voice this. That is exactly the wrong thing to do. Iron Man looking up directly at Logan, and Logan does look directly at Steve. Cap, you and I both know, throwing somebody like Izuku in a cell, it doesn't fix crazy. I understand that, but right now this is the safest alternative. Lock him away and throw away the key. You're going to take him to a place where all the metal is indestructible. Then you're going to lock him into a room with an indestructible door, with an indestructible key, and an indestructible lock. Am I the only one who sees that? That is not what we are doing. Cap, you and I both know a safety measure, what's it supposed to protect? The person who is inside the room or everybody else around them. Say what you want, but just remember, that kid only acts that way because of how people treat him. If you treat him like a monster, he'll be a monster. Hell, Weapon X told me plenty about that. Now, Deku, he does hear that. Weapon X? That does sound familiar. Now, Steve, he does look directly at Izuku. Before Deku, he does go to look back at Cap, and the man has stared at him for a minute. T'Challa. Yes. Exactly what type of safety measures do you have? That does depend. What are we looking for? He needs a cell, but he needs something else. Cap, can I voice something? What is it? Well, it's an idea I've had to counteract the Hulk, but it's also one to counteract me. And what might this countermeasure be? Well, the Hulk has a highly advanced healing factor. I don't. Okay, and that's a compelling argument why? Tranquilizers. Now, The moment Deku does say this, a few of the Avengers do look at each other. Tranquilizers? Okay, hang on. What do you mean by that? You know how whenever I learned my grandpa died, Tony gassed me? That was effective. In fact, I think something that would be able to directly inject me might be good. A bracelet, a wristband, or a collar, but I mean, it's a suggestion. Now, T'Challa, he is kind of impressed and both somewhat, you know, what the hell? Um, I can have Shuri hook it up. Right. It's the best safety option. It would monitor my heart rate, make sure I'm calm, and if it does detect a sudden spike or increase rapidly, it could neutralize me. This precaution actually is good. Why haven't we thought about this? You're busy containing the Hulk, not me? Now, a few people do look directly at Izuku. Huh. You know what? That's probably their major issue. They focus too much on the Hulk, not the guy the Hulk's connected to. I mean, Izuku, he can talk and converse with Tony Stark about engineering. He's incredibly intelligent, and, well, from what they understand right now, he has multiple ideas about how to take down the Hulk. And these ideas, they come from his understanding about Gamma. Now, whenever Deku does pack his bag and leave, he does say his goodbyes. And right now, a few people, well, they are intrigued to say goodbye to him. Some they'd rather not talk to Izuku. And right now, while Deku he does say goodbye to Katsuki, he also does say goodbye to Jean. And Jean, she does try to make things clear. Deku, while he may not be able to converse with them or talk to them, if he does get a message through, she wants him to know. She's going to take some time away from the mansion and maybe just try to figure things out. Okay, but maybe we could talk about everything. Yeah, that would probably be best. Listen, Izuku, it's just the last thing I remember is the Phoenix just killing me. I know. Listen, I don't expect it to. Never mind. What? I don't expect us to pick back up where we left off. I mean, that was 4 years ago, Jean. I get it. Things have changed, and you're still trying to process it. Process it? Izuku, I'm missing 3 years of my life. Right. No, sorry. That's not what I mean. It's those memories, they're not this you. I got it. Right, so you do understand. I do. It's so fucking confusing. Now, Jinsha is someone gonna hug Deku, before at least telling him that she will try to call him if possible. And right now Deku he is gonna leave. And he does talk to, well, T'Challa. Right now it's intriguing. And when the two do arrive in Wakanda, Deku, he is immediately given the bracers. The two metallic wristbands wrapping around as there actually is where they would connect directly on his vein on his wrist, there actually is a gap right there. And right now Deku, he actually just watched as a metallic piece is placed directly on top of it. And sure, she would explain. Her going to put another one on Deku's other wrist and directly over his vein. That the tranquilizer here, it is highly effective. And that it would actually be able to incapacitate grown men twice Izuku's size. And Deku, he's both intrigued by that. However, he also does hear the way Shuri, she is going to continue talking about it. She has engineered it to be just strong enough to not only, well, incapacitate Deku, but more than likely keep him asleep for a few days. Oh, um, that's not really needed. I mean, just a quick knockout would work. It's just a safety precaution. I understand. But, so this is Wakanda. Deku going from looking down at his wrist to trying to change the subject. And right now, everybody, they do look around. Deku, he's watching as flying cars are going by. An advanced city. And everything, it's made from vibranium. The most expensive metal on Earth. The most durable metal on Earth. The most resourceful metal on Earth. The most... Deku's just going to think. As right now, we do actually have his internal monologue. And it is just full of nerdy screaming. Now, Deku, he's looking around. And right now, T'Challa, he does just look at the expression on Deku's face. Deku, he looks like a kid who just walked into a candy store. And right now, T'Challa, he does somewhat like this. He expected the Hulk to be different. I mean, he knows much about the Beast, but the man, that is another story. The man seems to be, well, the opposite. Science is this one. Smashing is the other one. Now, there actually is Deku, who he is taken to a room and told about exactly the rules he will be following. And right now, Deku, he does at least try to jot a few of these things down, as we do actually have the following rules. Number 1, Izuku's bracelets. They come with a tracking device, and they will both explode if he does try to attempt to take them off. They do not come off. Deku, he will have someone who will have the access code to the bracelets. And right now they will only ever come off if that person gives Deku permission to take off those bracelets. That person, however, they are also T'Challa. And T'Challa, these codes are only for his eyes. If Izuku does attempt to try and enter any codes, or attempt to even try to remotely disable them, they will also explode. And Deku, he does hear a bit more about it. He doesn't have a curfew. He is allowed access to the science area. And, well, he is going to be constantly monitored. However, his room, it does have access to the Wakandan internet. At least what they will allow Deku to look at and see. However, since Deku, he is an outsider, there are certain things that he will not be able to access. Certain information that not even the Earth's heroes, nor anybody outside of Wakanda, has laid their eyes on. Now, Deku, he's still intrigued by all of this. And right now, it's just, well, so fascinating. Now, there actually is where T'Challa, he does take Deku to a lab. And right now, Shuri, T'Challa's sister, she actually is working on a few things. As whenever Deku is going to walk inside, he does turn his head and see a holographic screen. Him staring at it as they do go to walk in. Now, T'Challa, he does go to try and introduce Deku to his sister again. Hello? Him bringing his hand up and waving it in front of Deku's face. Sorry. Are those holographic screens? Yes, they are. Those are cool. Can I, if you are meaning to ask, can you access them? Then yes. Actually, my brother, he is the Black Panther. And I do manage and do tech creation. And the best way of saying it, my brother plays with the toys I create. In fact, I did design his new suit. You designed that? Yes, I did. I actually am very proud of it. That's amazing. Thank you. Now, we are going to be discussing ways on how to possibly disable or contain the Hulk. And so far, you provided us with one already. We keep you restricted, in the best way of saying it. We find a way to disable you before you manifest. I understand that this concept, it's one that we would rather like to avoid. However, we will keep these as emergencies just in case. And, well, in dire circumstances, as we shall say. Yeah. Honestly, though, I'd rather be gassed or, well, knocked out, I guess, in the best way of saying it, because I really would rather not want to experience what some type of nerve agent would work to kill me, because that always hurts. Kill you? I'm sorry. Please explain. Right, I've been shot before and I guess I died or I guess I was injured, but I've also been blown to smithereens and down to my skeleton by that thing in Genosha a few years back. I'm sorry, are you saying that you survived being atomized? A Hulk did, but I mean, I guess it overpowered the healing factor, and I manifested after that. But then he manifested again because I felt intense rage. Hmm, okay. Okay, we'll have to consider these variables. I'm sorry, but how much were you 93 to 97%, I believe? They don't know. They just sort of found me and found Hulk, I guess, and by the time I rematerialized, it was, you know, all flesh and bone. That is incredible. Now I see exactly why he's having trouble with this. Now, Shuri just tried to think, as Deku just started to throw out ideas. And Shuri, yeah. Right now, somebody, close to her intelligence, is going to be helping her try to create a device that will be able to contain or stop the Incredible Hulk. And that is something that is intriguing. Right now, they have to find a way to stop a unstoppable force. And right now, the trick Deku is trying to use is a gamma siphoner. Now, Shuri, yeah. The two will be discussing this a lot more and trying to work towards a solution. Now, while that is currently happening over in Wakanda, we do actually currently have back at the Xavier Mansion, and even in Genosha, at a similar time frame. Right now, a lot of people, they're feeling a bit more of side effects from exactly whenever reality returned to normal. Now, the side effects weren't immediately apparent. However, we do actually have Rogue. Rogue is currently walking down the stairs, and she's, well, getting lightheaded. Before her eyes, they suddenly start to flash her memories. The memories of that world. A world where her powers, they were peaceful, they were better, they were not as violent or lethal to physical touch. She remembers a few things. Her going to fall forwards and land directly onto the ground. Her doing so, she's going to bring her hand directly up to her mouth. And right now, she does feel it. Her body just feels, well, it's like when she got hit by a truck. Now, somebody just come to run over. Them asking her if she's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Just, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Listen, go lay down. A lot of people are feeling that way. It's not good. Some of the others, they're complaining about similar things too. How bad is it? It's a lot of people. Listen, it should pass. Charles said it would. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure. But listen, just go lay down. Shit. Okay, hang on. they're going to turn and run. As right now, Rogue, she does hear somebody emptying the contents of their stomach. Her turning her head and trying to see who it might be. However, right now, she does should be careful, since she really doesn't want to lose her lunch, especially not in her favorite pair of jeans. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.